This Defensive Player of the Year edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog. Get up to a $1,000 deposit match when you sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com. Promo code SGPN.
This is Nate Collins. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money grand with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer? What's going on, Kramer?
Football is very close. I've had multiple conversations with friends, close loved ones about how close it is. I filled out our schedule between now and September.
Yes,
there's literally no free space to talk about anything but football.
Yeah, we Colby Dant coming to town. We're going to record a ton of college football conference previews. Then we're going to be right into NFL team previews. 32 NFL team previews.
No,
preseason.
I just have to say it out loud. I mean, this is beautiful, Sean.
Yeah,
June. Basically the entire month of June, college football into July, college football. We do jam some fantasy episodes.
Have a British Open in there somewhere.
There's a British Open September 15th. I think we'll be covering the British Open.
No, July 15th.
Sorry, July. What did I say? September.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about football. Then a couple random episodes. Then July 20th, Sean. Unless something crazy happens, we'll be the first NFL preview. Now I will say this: I did not include draft day yet, so I'll have to find a couple days to squeeze in draft day. Have to find
joining us in studio from the Bottom Line Bombs podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. You know him, you love him, the man in the box, CJ Sullivan. What's happening, CJ?
What's up, fellas? Good to be back here in the middle. Good to see you two back together again. Last time.
What's that?
Well, last time I was here, I know every marriage needs a time away from each other. And
what is this?
CJ was filling.
Planning a bit while I was gone.
I wasn't planning a bit. I'm just saying. Friday night, I filled in for you. You guys had time away. Unexplained reasons. That's your issues. I don't know what it was. And
it's like Jordan getting his dad killed. Just needed to go away for a couple of days.
CJ did at one point, I think, grab your pizza peel, Ryan. So I didn't.
Nice.
I don't know if it's okay for a man to use another man's pizza peel in the studio.
That was for Colby's Canadian accent or what?
Oh yes,
that's what it was.
Colby, yeah. I introduced him as a CFL expert from Canada, and he goes, "Top of the morning to you."
No. Colby, the
database.
The database.
And Daniel enjoying the Kramer air horn sound bit, all timer. Yeah, it's going to be a long time before I get sick of this one. And we already see the chat weighing in on what they're going to do for Defensive Player of the Year. Ryan did a great job working up past winners, including links to the voting history. Very nice color coded spreadsheet. Great reason to hop on the Patreon if you're not already a member. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. But Kramer, you did the sheet. What are some big takeaways from previous Defensive Player of the Years that we should be using for predicting this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think interesting because you will find people out there that are giving you data all the way back to when this award started, which was in 1971. This is in a time where they still used positions like left defensive tackle, right defensive tackle, right inside linebacker. So basically, what you'll find is some positions won the award a lot more back in the day. Essentially, everything that isn't a sack position. When you look as you get closer and closer, you look at the last 10 years, 8 of them defensive linemen. You look at the last 25 years, 15 defensive linemen of some sort.
Well, and previous years, I'm forgetting, did not have Patrick Surtain last year.
Pause on that because CJ and I ran into a hilarious, holy shit, I didn't realize this guy came in second place last year. Who came in second place in the defensive player of the year voting?
Trey Hendrickson.
Trey Hendrickson. Yes. I was like, no,
I had
Miles,
the same conversation with CJ.
I was just going to say I spoiled that one for you. We were because that's how puzzling it was.
Miles Garrett.
That's how crazy it was.
Second.
Well, then John says, "Well, Miles won the year before. Maybe they didn't want to."
And Trey Hendrickson had 3.5 more sacks than Miles Garrett, which I think is both a case for and against Trey Hendrickson this year, because Trey Hendrickson had 17.5 sacks last year and didn't win Defensive Player of the Year. What would he have to do? And I think he is an interesting candidate, but what would he have to do to win that reward?
Easy. Make his name a bigger name, and which he's done by standing for something. Like I simply think him basically standing up for what every reporter will side with, which is, hey, I tried to do the right thing. This is my home. Yeah. And the Bengals are treating. So if he comes back and has a year, which I'm all in on the Bengals this year.
And I see it. Also, I think, and I already saw Easy in the chat, it's going to be hard to, if Aiden Hutchinson finishes the year healthy, they probably, I don't know if they want to give him comeback player of the year, but he was on a path last year, I think, to smash that award. He gets hurt. And then I still don't know why Patrick Surtain won it. He had 4 interceptions, one of which was this crazy return for a touchdown, which was awesome. But I still don't get why he won last year. Now, certainly he is someone that has a name, but previously we had kind of just been handicapping it as, and CJ was onto this, like you have to be somewhat of a household name and you have to have a bunch of sacks. That's usually the formula for winning this thing. Now Patrick Surtain winning it does feel like an outlier, but I don't know. At that point, why not give it to Kirby Joseph? Kirby Joseph had 5 more interceptions, also had a defensive touchdown. Why would he not get it over Surtain?
What team was Kirby Joseph on?
On the Lions.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Yes, he was on the Lions.
Yeah, I mean, possibly just, Denver had a better defense.
Yeah, that's also a thing. If defense is so bad, like Detroit's, no, they were hurt, of course. Yeah, but voters have a hard time doing that. Fun fact about Trey Hendrickson's 17.5 sacks last year: 16 of them were against Russell Wilson.
He did eat against old Danger Russ. But to your point, Kramer, he is a good candidate. He's interesting. I think anyone that has somewhat of a name that got a ton of sacks should be considered for this award. But what about a guy like Nick Bonito, 40-1, and he was certainly, what was his because he was right up there with the sack leaders. He was on that Denver defense. It's interesting, he wasn't really in the mix last year.
But I don't know. I mean, we're talking about is it worth taking anyone? Like, to me, the case against Nick Bonito is very purely the same case against Trey Hendrickson last year. Who the hell is Nick Bonito?
Right.
I had 13.5 sacks.
When was he drafted? See, where's the pet? I'm just saying. I think the narrative, you can talk yourself into that, but I'd tell you to go play the sack market or the sack, because what happens when the pass rusher isn't sexy? Yeah, is they give it to a defensive back.
The sack exchange.
I mean, part of why Surtain won it last year, I think. Now, the defensive linemen had good years, but were they great years? And this was just a product of Surtain got enough love because none of the defensive linemen had standout.
Well, and I would just kind of come
all time years, and 17.5 is pretty good, but after that, next highest sack total was only 14 with Garrett, and so maybe that's why we just answered the question why Surtain won. If we go look at the Gilmore year, I'm sure we're going to see a similar thing. Watt and the other guys probably had less than like all-time years, and so it was easier to give it to a different position.
Yeah, no, it was just it was surprising. I mean, he had 3.5 more sacks than Myles Garrett. Like if you're Hendrickson, if you have 17.5 sacks again this year, still, you think he's in the mix just because he's more known?
100%. If it's the same kind of thing, and the Bengals are one of the top seeds in the NFL, I think there's an element there too that helps with the cause. If you're not a true blue chip guy
in the Gilmore year, and thankfully because of your nice sheet here, Ryan, Chandler Jones was second that year in voting. He had 19 sacks.
That's a pretty good year.
But Stephon Gilmore did have 6 interceptions, 2 touchdowns. The fact he had 2 touchdowns probably is what did it. TJ Watt was right there with 14.5.
It just seems like a silly game if we're talking about like who's paid the most. Which one of these positions is paid the most, thus has the most value? How can you not give it? If there's a great defensive lineman on a great defense, how do you not give it to that guy? Because guess who's going to impact the defense more? Surtain leaving or Myles Garrett leaving? It's not even like a complex football question.
Yeah, I just don't know. Do the voters look at it like that?
Even if they don't, who cares? It's still 2 out of 10. It's still only 2 out of 10. And when you look at the fact that there's 3 defensive tackles, the reason I said defensive lineman is Aaron Donald is the ultimate outlier. And so you basically have 80% of your sample over the last 10 year modern NFL, passing NFL. It's guys who get sacks. So don't do anything else.
Yeah.
Don't do anything else.
I think you just got to look at Gilmore as the outlier.
Typically we would go from the bottom to the top. Yes. But the blue book got
Xavier Collins 400 to 1. Cam Jordan 400 to 1.
The blue book got a letter.
Damar Hamlin 400 to 1.
A lot of letters from a lot of families saying, "Hey, can you list my kid?" So I would almost say we should unless you have someone you would like to call out. I feel like we should just chop the list off, and anything longer, 100 to 1 or longer, we're going to ignore. Is there anyone down there you want to talk
Von
about?
Miller.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's why I figured
400 to 1. I'm not going to be playing him, but is there any chance Von Miller?
He's got the name.
Yeah. Name.
He's playing in a good situation. Wait, where is he still on Buffalo?
Wait, who?
Or is he a free agent?
What are we deleting?
I'm not deleting anything. I'm just saying, do we want to talk about anyone longer than 100 to 1? I'm guessing you have some people.
I mean, I only have people that
yeah, come on.
Okay. Right.
I'm just kidding. No, let's
well, cause all right. So for example, should we talk about Josh Sweat 150 to 1?
No, there was, so Von Miller, I think he's just the situation to your point. He's not re-signed with the Bills.
Okay.
Right?
He's a free agent.
So now maybe there's a,
there you go.
He lands, he's going to probably want to re-sign with a Super Bowl contender, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's not even on a roster week 1. Like he could be like a late sign. And he does seem a bit washed, or at least by Von Miller standards. So I'm not playing Von Miller. It's just interesting talking about him this far down. Khalil Mack, you want to talk about a guy who could get sacks? Khalil Mack, any juice left in the tank, Ryan?
Well, again, pedigree's there. He's in a good situation there with the Chargers. He lost his running mate in Joey Bosa. I don't know if
but I mean, Bosa was never out on the field, and thankfully Bosa not being on the Chargers is finally all right. I'm going to stop playing any sort of Joey Bosa. Again, Khalil Mack, he only had 6 sacks last year, but the year before he had 17. I guess that's a good reason against him, because even with 17 sacks, he still was 9th in defensive player of the year voting. So
yeah, I was gonna say
if he's barely cracking the top 10 with 17 sacks, probably not worth putting him in there.
Well, I think the story it comes with a resurgence Chargers team led by a strong defense where Mack is near the lead of sacks. But to your point, I think if Mack is leading the NFL in sacks, he's not guaranteed to win this award. I feel like there's 2 categories of guys. There's like guys like Myles Garrett, who if he leads the league in sacks, TJ Watt, if he leads, they're getting the award. Trey Hendrickson, now that everyone knows who he is because he's throwing a tantrum. But the old guys are tough. It is tough.
What about a young stud, Kobe Turner, Ryan? He's 200 to 1.
Defensive tackle.
Coming off an 8-sack year. They moved him to edge technically.
Yeah. I just don't think he'll get the ball. You can be Aaron Donald and win the award from the interior without the most sacks, but you have to be Aaron Donald and be doing that with triple teams every play.
If I was going to go defensive tackle down here in the 200 levels.
Oh, I like this.
I would look at a DeForest Buckner.
Oh,
who grades out.
I like this. Player grades
very high, and he's the number 1 run stopping defensive tackle by a margin. I mean, very far. And he's 2nd in the pass rush for defense tackles. And he is a name coming off an injury, but he's more of a comeback player of the year. And he's the kind of guy, as soon as he was gone from the Colts defense, they fell apart. I mean, that defense, they talk, the narrative is out there where like, you can run on him if Buckner's not playing. If he is playing, you have a problem.
The problem is we're playing in a time where there are some like Hall of Fame defensive tackles playing right now. And I think you would have to clearly have better seasons than like the Dexter Lawrence, Jalen Carter, Chandler Jones tier of game records.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You not only and maybe it sounds obvious now that we're saying it out loud, but you have to them versus the rest of the people in their position group, right?
Especially at D tackle.
Because if you're not, but even cornerback, if you're not clearly above and beyond the best cornerback, obviously you're not going to win Defensive Player of the Year. And how thin is the competition at that position group? I think is something worth considering. All right, we're gonna get to some legit plays here. It's stuff we are gonna be hopping in on. Before we do, of course, shout out to Circa. If you haven't been to Circa, what are you waiting for? Perfect time to win a free trip. That's right. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CIRCA. You win this contest. It's the ultimate fantasy football draft experience. 2-night stay for you and 11 buddies, aka everyone in your league. $5,000 tab at Stadium Swim, and you might need it there. Legacy Club welcome party. The cabana is awesome, and it's just a great place to host a draft. And why not win a free trip for you and your entire league? sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CIRCA, and of course a limo ride, hotel. They treat you great. And if you're just going there just to hang out, promo code SGP15 at all the Circa properties get you 15% off. Yes.
What's your food recommendation for Stadium Swim? You're racking up that tab.
It's interesting. What do we get the platter of hot dogs? I think that's a good
platter. The hot dog platter is good.
It's a good bang for your buck.
Yeah. I would say the number one bang for your buck is going to be the nachos.
Really?
It seems ridiculous.
The price, but the nachos it is like a pyramid of, and maybe we can Google a photo of the nachos.
It's too much, to be honest with you. I would recommend the walking taco instead, which is similar to the nachos. It's a platter. It's a platter. It's a platter thing, and they have like the kind of different kind of like Frito chips on top of it. They do something different with it.
Anyway,
it's not as massive as the nachos, where like you can put a dent in those nachos, but eventually you're swimming in a cave in there trying to get through all those chips.
There's gonna be some dry chips probably at the bottom.
Chips in there.
Well, and I'll pull up let's quickly share this. Just we got to show the people. I did find this on the internet. This is actually
look at that.
So I was gonna say, if
the chicken fingers and fries I've never had.
It's also a great way if you're trying to spend a bunch of money just to say, give me a little bit of everything.
The mega yacht. Oh, that thing looks awesome. All right. Screw what I said. Get the mega yacht.
It's like,
I mean, if you got a 5K bar tab, you're getting the mega yacht.
It's like shrimp cocktail out
chicken
there.
Fingers, brisket. I didn't even know that. Lobster corn dogs.
It reminds me of like a Richie Rich or something. Like if a kid, like a kid's birthday party's dream. Like all of a sudden he got like a thing like no, and it's great. It's what we want.
But that is Circa, right?
Yes.
And I always say to Ryan, Derek built this place. We're like, we're gonna have a pool where you can see all the games, and then the biggest sports books in the world. Chicken fingers. You can drink as much as you want.
Yeah,
it really does have that like.
It's awesome.
A kid. I mean this in a respectful way. Yes. But there are elements of Billy Madison.
That's what I'm saying. That's what this is. It's all Billy Madison.
It's what he would do.
Like, with Derek, though. I mean, like there are elements, very like direct elements.
I'm trying to chocolate syrup on it. Just things that don't make any sense.
No snorkels or face masks at the pool. Right. Anyway, sorry.
You could see Derek yelling at a penguin.
Nudie Magazine Day. Come on.
MyBookie.ag. Head over there and you get 100% deposit match. Of course, I'm on the Pacers tonight. You can get them over at MyBookie, +9.5. Get down on that. Maybe some TJ McConnell props. Prop builder is fire over on MyBookie.ag. Use a promo code SGPN. Get 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply on that deposit match. But they got it all: college baseball, NBA Finals, the Stanley Cup. Over 6.5. Just keep pounding the over in the Stanley Cup. MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN. All right,
Sean, real quick. Yes. As you know, the money bag's been really bad to me lately.
It's been cold.
So you see those signs about when the fun stops. So I gave it a. Turns out they can't help me. They said money bag. Sorry, can't help you, sir.
Who?
The gambling folks.
Oh, they're like, what the hell's a money bag?
My problem's too bad.
Explaining it to them was great.
They said, they said
like, wait, what? You randomly bet and you don't know what it is until after the fact?
All right, we're sending someone over. Yeah, we never do this, but we're gonna do a face to face.
Collect some samples.
Margaret, we got a new type of gambling going on. The money bag. All right, I will throw out 100 to 1.
Well, hold on.
Yes,
I was not.
Oh, sorry, I thought the
Josh Sweat that you quickly brushed off, surely because he's no longer on the. I mean, if the Jonathan Gannon defense hits in year 3 here.
Oh, it's
with the
Cardinals
piece,
take
with exactly with the piece that he brought in. He does have name recognition. He is in commercials.
He's in a commercial.
I assume there's some sweat related commercial.
No,
how does he not have a deodorant? Yeah, how does he not have a deodorant sponsorship?
Yeah, he's tried to lean into it. His sack celebration is wiping the sweat off his forehead.
But it's closer to.
It's a great celebration.
It's closer to LA now, and a lot of Hollywood's in Arizona now, as I understand. So I do think I'm going to mark down Josh Sweat a little pencil here.
Now you're seeing 120 to 1,
150 to 1.
Wow.
Oh, I was looking at Montez Sweat. So Sweat,
Sweat.
Montez Sweat, lower odds actually. Montez Sweat.
I mean, because Josh Sweat could be the dude on a defense that was looking better last year, and if Kyler is the right guy,
I'm a Josh Sweat fan. I don't mind.
No, I mean, I think your angle is what Hassan Reddick did in 2022 in the Jonathan Gannon defense, where the defense, if you get that right edge rusher, if he stays healthy for the entire year,
I assume that's why he was brought in, to fill that role.
And his career high is 11 sacks. If he gets 18, 19 sacks, yeah.
A lot of this should Kyler take too, because the offense is going to have to be good for this to work out.
You think? Well, yeah, I guess because you expect
100%. I think it's hard to win Defensive Player of the Year unless you're like the elite guys like TJ Watt and Myles Garrett, unless you're on a really good team. The offense has to work too. I mean, you could argue Surtain only won the award because the offense was good.
Well, and I think the fact the Broncos exceeded expectations, right? So
there's a little of that.
Like, oh, hey, how are the Broncos making it to the playoffs with a rookie quarterback? Oh, they must have a really good defense. Who's the one guy's name I recognize on the defense? All right, there you go.
So yeah, it's just such a pageant that you do have to have a name.
I already have a paper ticket on this gentleman.
Really?
To win Defensive Player of the Year, 100 to 1. I got it over at Circa. I'm seeing another book here has it at 60 to 1. But give me Nolan Smith Jr. 100 to 1. Coming off an incredible.
Didn't see that coming.
You didn't?
Oh, I'm just going with an eagle.
Come on. I basically starting on from week 5. He had 10.5 sacks, almost averaged like a sack a game, including 4 in the playoffs. He's been electric, and I think he did have 2 QB hits in the Super Bowl.
You got 100 to 1 at Circa.
Yes.
Nice. And
it's like 60 to 1 other places. It was as high as 130 to 1 over at Circa.
Can I tell you why he probably it's going to be very difficult for him to win the award?
Sure.
Much like it will be for any of the Giants edge rushers. You can't be outdone by an interior defensive lineman in my mind.
Okay, but
on your own team.
But what do you mean, like name wise or
like Jalen Carter is the guy I would imagine who gets it if the defense hits.
Okay, yeah. You know now certainly he's much shorter odds. I think the argument against Jalen Carter is that he doesn't get the sacks. Nolan Smith but
he'll strangely get a lot of credit, even if it's Nolan Smith who has a good sack.
No, and again, I don't disagree with that point, but it's 3 times the odds, and I think I think their odds should be closer. There's going to be a ton of opportunity with some of the guys that they lost on that defensive edge. Fangio.
I mean, you're being a fan, but I mean, Jalen, even as someone who would love to be a hater, Jalen Carter is clearly like a fringe all pro. Like he's clearly a tier above Nolan Smith is. I think that's like for defense to what you were saying earlier. It's so much of a basic take that Jalen Carter is already seen as the dog on that defense that I think it would take a lot for it would take an injury to Jalen Carter maybe for Nolan Smith to have a chance in my mind.
Yeah. I think if he gets 16, 17 sacks, I think he's going to be in the mix. Now, to your point, yeah, Jalen Carter's
and then
awesome.
they'll just bring up all the single teams he gets to deal with because Jalen Carter's.
They don't. All right, I don't.
I'm gonna go through that now to see how because I do think that's a good. I'll do some data, some analytics on that. I wonder how often the guy who wins the award has a like peer on the defensive line and the interior that's considered better than him. It's a very unique case, but I mean it probably only applies to like 5 teams a year.
Yeah, I just think stat wise, there's going to be a ton of opportunity for the Eagles edge rusher. So at 100-1, I'm in.
Yeah, so I wonder what's his lead the league in sacks price.
Well, I'll probably be on that once that's open as well.
That feels like a bet. I would prefer that price.
CJ, what do you got? Do you got any of these long shots?
You find like I said, I only have long shots. To be honest with you,
feed me.
I don't know what my game's a little rusty. I don't know which way to pivot. I have one I could toss to him. I have one like you where I got 100-1 at a different book, but here it's listed a little lower.
Yeah.
I mean, and this guy is going to win it. That's why I kind of want to parlay him with my offensive lineman and coach of the year. Get one of those crazy viral tickets out there, you know. I got him at 100-1 at Bet Online. Here he is listed at 55-1, and that's Danielle Hunter for Houston. Now talk about rating out. He rates number 1 in edge pass rushing for win rate and edge win rushing, and number 2 in pressure rate at 24%. That's the best defensive end in football as far as that. Now he is a name because he signed a huge contract 2 years ago, 2-year, $49 million from Minnesota, where he did have 16.5 sacks in 2023. Now, he only had 12 last year for Houston. They gave him a raise. Not only he made the Pro Bowl last year, they just gave him a 1-year, $36.5 million contract. That alone makes you a name. When you're making $36 million and if on the 1-year deal, a $12 million raise, Jamaican man from LSU.
Oh, wow.
And just the way he rates this above anyway. I'll go over real quickly the edge pass rush win rate rankings. Daniel Hunter was 1, Trey Hendrickson's 2, Micah Parsons 3, and it's not even close actually. What he wins at a 75% win rate. So at 100-1, 55-1, wherever you want, and a defense that will be obviously playing better, a Houston team that everyone has good vibes on, can win a division. I mean, a guy who's had 16.5 sacks for Minnesota as a name, he can put up 18, 19 sacks. Let's go.
I got another one for you.
Well,
Kramer, or do you want to go? Do you got a long shot one you like in this area?
So he's interesting because the shorter odds on the team is Will Anderson, which some would say is a little bit on draft equity and not so much on performance because Hunter has done more in the league than Anderson. So this is one of the few cases where I would say you might be okay to do that. Typically, it's like that. Don't get cute and take the Steelers' second best pass rusher. But
when you follow the money, like a 1-year, $37 million deal is.
I like that. Follow the. I mean, I was backing up the case.
For
sure.
I
think it works.
Absolutely.
Anyway, go ahead, Sean.
Put me down.
Kramer, do you have one you want to throw out?
Well, we started with Sweat at 120-1 or 150-1. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be a homer at all, even though I see.
Wait, you already took your Cardinal.
What? No, Giants.
That's your main.
No
team.
Giants, because I do think that none of the sexy Giants pass rushers will win the award before Dexter Lawrence does. Dexter Lawrence is 50-1. That is pretty interesting for an All Pro.
Well,
just in case, mark me down for Dexter Lawrence at 50-1. I will be. This will be a just in case paper ticket. I assume we'll next time we're out in Vegas, we'll be doing the just in case segment.
Oh yeah,
I'll load up on some
just in case. This is a good just in case. Just in case we have a similar award to last year with Patrick Surtain. What if I told you a defensive mind? Why are you shaking your head?
Because we started the show saying we were only going to take pass rushers.
Yeah, and I'm saying just in case we have a weird back-to-back year.
What's Cooper DeJean's price?
No, I like Quinion Mitchell. I like Cooper DeJean. I'm not taking them because I'm for the most part I'm on board.
Flattered Sean by saying that.
I'm on board. No. Well, the Eagles have a lot of good defensive players. Right? I don't know if you watched the Super Bowl where they kicked the fucking Chiefs' ass, and I'm still arguing that with these people.
I see Jalen Hurts not a top 11 Philadelphia sports athlete
according to WIP.
Yes.
I had this guy telling me that the Dolphins would not trade Tua for Hurts straight up. Even if you just looked at the brain damage, you would trade them straight up.
Zach Bondo on his list is above Jalen Hurts on that list.
Yeah, come on. Landon Dickerson,
Zach Bondo,
the right guard. Come on, the hate of Jalen Hurts is crazy. What if I told you there was a guy? He's gotten All Pro 2 out of the 3 years in his league. He was Defensive Player of the Year. Now he's his year 3, kind of not great, but the defense fell apart. What if they bring in a defensive-minded head coach in Aaron Glenn? What if they slightly exceed expectations and that defense is good again? Sauce Gardner doesn't need to get the stats to win awards. He's one of those guys that people are just go, well, he doesn't get interceptions because they won't throw his way. If he has some sort of advanced number, he's a very flashy, big time athlete from New York.
Yeah,
I think. And you saw what Kirby Joseph did in that Lions defense. Maybe he just gets like a career high 4 interceptions. He's had a defensive touchdown in every year he's been in the league. Sauce Gardner at 75-1, I think is a fun sprinkle. Give me Sauce. Yeah, and it's fun to say don't get lost in the sauce.
I don't think Aaron Glenn gets to bring the offense from the Lions with him. Probably was helpful in the interceptions.
But all right, fine. He's not a big interception guy. You don't think if the Jets defense is good?
Of course, that's why Surtain won with no stats, right? Yeah. It's all about the fact that they don't even
and go. He's the name.
Takes away half the field.
Yeah. That's all they need to say.
I'm fine with that. That is the one type of defensive back that can be as meaningful to a team as an elite edge rusher. So fair point.
I like that.
What about Anzalone? Anal zone. Easy saying defensive play of the year, sack and interception guy could have a great year. Well, again, going using Kramer's logic, it's gonna, and we're probably bearing the lead, at least for me. Like Aiden Hutchinson at the top of the board at 7-1 is just gonna get so much attention.
You think so? I have a different take maybe.
Okay, well why don't we walk through like the less crazy ones, unless you guys have any more long shots.
Plenty of long shots.
All right, give us fire us another one.
But Kramer actually just dismissed him with his theories on both of them. I don't even want to bring them up. And one was an olive branch for you. You believe Dexter Lawrence will be the only Giant to get in there?
I think it's going to be extremely well. Who is your option
at 100-1? I like Brian Burns, to be honest with you. He's a name, he's a superstar. That trade was very public. I mean, and it started as a joke between 2 general managers, and it was like,
one fleeced the other.
He did fleece him. That's what he brought up. What do you guys for Brian Burns? Like, for really? Okay. So, he is 4th of all DNs in expected pass rush rate.
I was gonna say his advanced numbers were really good last year.
They're extremely good. And obviously he had 8.5 sacks last year, which isn't something to build upon, but his advanced numbers, look at him as someone who just dominates.
You know what? It's however,
and he's a name enough, I think, over the rest of these guys.
And how many of these guys voting have kids? They could really like that Spider-Man thing he does when he gets the sack. That's very, very marketable.
For sure.
He's I mean, the problem is that I think
money.
The excitement of Abdul Carter could take away from.
I think all that's just going to help Burns. Abdul Carter.
Yeah, I mean, look, they should be able to get after, they should be getting after the quarter. No, I'm not saying taking away from this award. It just seems like the shine of having Dexter Lawrence, if Abdul Carter's having a strong campaign. I do agree though. Burns will be the biggest benefactor from all of this. Because I think you're going to see them. I think Abdul Carter is going to be a little bit of a joker. So I don't know what his
that 157 10-yard split is just incredible for him.
Wow. He also
for Spider-Man.
I saw some Giant fan put out a stat that Burns was one of 2 or 3 edges last year to have X number of sacks and X number of tackles, and it's like interesting framing this box very tightly.
But yeah, I agree with the Spider-Man angle as well.
The Spider-Man thing is very interesting because that, Dad, you got to vote for the Spider-Man guy.
For sure. And writers, they're like, okay, where is it? It's on your table there. All right, send it in. Go ahead and mail it.
Ship it.
You go ahead and write it and mail it in.
Yeah, we spend more time on figuring out defensive player of the year than the guys who vote on it.
Right.
Definitely.
We're the ones like digging in. But what if they do this? What if they want to reward this? That's why these award markets are fun, because it's not only the stat angle, the projection, but like the handicap of the people voting.
So,
right, absolutely.
All right, let's go through this.
It's a poker game.
Yeah.
Wait, CJ, you have a lot more.
Well, I'll throw a D-back out there for you. I mean, I never thought of putting a D-back out there, but I knew we were going to be talking about it.
Just in case.
Just in case, a D-back, and there's
in case.
one I liked. I believe it was Rookie of the Year, Christian Gonzalez, 100 to 1.
Oh, I did see that.
I mean, if the Vrabel defense and everyone's so the media's already all in on the Patriots, turning it around, even though we're all down on them. But what if they do win 9 games? And what if it is a Vrabel Patriot kind of defense? Gonzalez is one of those lockdown corners that already has that narrative going that he is that guy.
Yeah.
Like that Sauce Gardner guy who locks it down. One Rookie of the Year, he had that bad injury. He came back from it. Last year was a year coming back from the injury. I think he'll be 100% this year. And if he's that same guy, then he's a top 5 corner in the NFL.
Well, he's the kind that they like to vote for this award, which is, you take away half the field.
Yes.
And Stephon Gilmore, there's already pedigree of a New England Patriot recently winning.
It's a baby fucking wheel,
as a cornerback, defensive player of the year.
So yeah. All right. I have a couple chalkier ones, but I'll save it for us walking through the chalkier ones. CJ, if you want to throw out any more,
I'm done with the 100 to 1.
Okay.
I got 2 more. One's 50, one's 40.
All right, so we'll rattle through these.
Those are my chalk.
85 to 1. These are easy to cross off, but these are like the sexy guys who are good at defense, good enough to be getting some respect. Xavier McKinney, who. Yeah. One of the few safeties you could probably put on the list. Kirby Joseph, Devon Witherspoon, Greg Rousseau, and Andrew Van Ginkel, a guy who, just looking at his stats last year, did a bunch, and he didn't come close to it. So I assume we're all on the same page crossing these guys off.
Yeah.
I guess Rousseau is interesting because he has the situational element, maybe. 75 to 1. Sauce Gardner, like Sean already mentioned.
Let's go.
Quinnen Williams and Fred Warner. Quinnen
Williams is interesting.
Yeah, cue ball. You could kind of make a similar.
He's on the short list. If you're making a list of top 5 to 7 interior defensive guys, he's there, but he's after the big dogs. And I think there's flashier elements to this defense. I think.
Yeah.
Specifically, I'd rather have Sauce than Quinnen Williams. I think.
Yeah.
Derek Stingley, Nolan Smith Jr. Sean got a better price there at 100 to 1. I got it 60. Derek Stingley, he's another takes away half the field corner, has some nice pass rushers on his own team as well. Any chance? I feel like with him, if he has a good season, the pass rushers are going to have a lot of sacks and they're more likely to win it.
He was all pro last year, which is usually
that helps.
Usually, you have to have some.
That's how you get in the radar.
Yeah,
and you have to have some kind of resume with it.
And I think they are the same guys that vote for All Pro that vote for Defensive Player of the Year. So he came in 17th in Defensive Player of the Year last year. 5 interceptions.
He got 2 points. 2 points.
I think it's just going to be a tough needle for him to thread.
Yeah.
But I guess if you're I don't know. I like Sauce better at the similar price.
Another way to look at it is he got the second most points at the position.
Oh, there you go.
Surtain was first, of course.
Good framing.
Great framing. All right. Nothing for me there either. 50. Well, we talked about Hunter already, so we'll walk by here. I do like the take the longer shot pass rush angle there with the Texans. I could also see the Texans being carried by their defense. It's another fun element to this award where you get bonus points if the defense is the reason the team is good. 50 to 1. Sexy Dexy already on the card. Kyle Hamilton, Josh Hines Allen. A podcast with CJ wouldn't be complete until we have a Josh Hines Allen conversation.
CJ, come on. You're on Josh Hines Allen, right?
I mean, I had talked myself into it during the pregame warmups here. I mean, we are talking about Saxonville.
Yes,
they do have 3 of the 4 defensive linemen are top 10 in franchise history in sacks. So I don't know what that says. Yeah, franchise history.
Great framing.
But let me make a case for Josh Hines Allen though. 2 years ago, he had 17.5 sacks.
Yeah.
Last year, obviously, it was down year for everyone. He weighed about 285 pounds. He said that'll never happen again. He already looks extremely lighter right now in OTAs. They asked him, what is your goal weight? And he would not put out a number for him. He said, my goal is all pro, sack record, defensive player of the year.
Oh wow.
That is my record. That is my goal.
board.
Not a wait. Yeah. So he already has it out there. Josh Allen. He hung around and trained in Jacksonville this year. Usually goes off to Arizona, but he wanted to bring in Duval. He wanted to onboard him. Kentucky coach connections with him.
What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
What are we gonna do? I think we're gonna be on the Jags this year, Joe.
I mean,
the Colts are untouchable. The Titans are untouchable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tough.
And the Texans could be a fucking dumpster fire.
It's a great ride. It's a fun ride.
Yeah, put Mark.
Yes,
just a little in pencil.
Josh Hines out.
Now wait, compare.
Go ahead.
No. Compare him to Trayvon Walker, CJ, because he would. He's also in a similar space, right?
Absolutely. Trayvon Walker's a D tackle, obviously, and a pass rushing D tackle, and they changed it.
Number one pick overall, like it's a good narrative,
right? But like
stats,
like Ryan said, though, if you want to be the D tackle, you have to be probably the elite. And I'll get to the one in a second. But Josh Hines Allen is a perfect edge rusher, and he went through a thing when he used to be called Josh Allen. He threw the Hines in there.
Get that name back.
Right, he's gonna get that name back, and he said it was a family thing. It had nothing to do with that quarterback. Doesn't even acknowledge him.
Bullshit.
Yeah, but the way he's locked in. Everyone that says he's locked in, and Duval says he's locked in. All the University of Kentucky connections that he has with him. All the coaches said you have to stay there to help him out.
I like that.
Yeah, I mean he is, and he said he knew it was his mission. I have to be the leader this year, and part of that was and making sure Cohen is comfortable in this transition.
I mean, what other team is going to win games in the division?
Right.
So Texans.
And look at the quarterbacks. He gets a sack too. He gets a Stroud, that horrible offensive line. Daniel Jones.
You want to look at?
I mean,
two games against Daniel Jones.
I mean,
the guy loves.
That's 12 sacks getting out of the divisional gate. All I ask is like for 5 more.
Great angle. Thank you for the advice. All right, 40-1. Benito, as Sean was bringing up earlier, and teammate Chris Jones.
Chris Jones is interesting here. Now he is because I know he's D tackle, but he is a name, huge money.
He's on the list. Yep.
His advanced numbers are far and beyond the second best defensive tackle, which is Quentin.
Chris Buckner. Chris Jones is on Kansas City.
Yes.
Benito's Denver.
Well, I said teammates. My bad.
I'm talking division mates. They're division mates. But Chris Jones. His rush win rate as a defensive tackle is 70%. The second closest is 56%, which is a huge drop off, and that is Buckner of the Colts. That's the only way I threw him out there at 200-1. But at 40-1, that's as low as I can go for Chris Jones. But obviously, superstar team. He's a superstar player on defense.
I'd love for it to be possible.
I know. It's just, I mean, he will be talked about. Besides them being on prime time, 14 of their damn 17
Yeah,
games.
I mean, the case for him is pretty simple, right? He's been all pro 3 years in a row. And as far as like they want to reward if the Chiefs defense continues to be good and Patrick Mahomes, Showtime Mahomes continues to struggle and they win games without him, I would just say that his sack numbers have just fallen off a cliff.
Yeah.
2022 was his year to win it. He came in 30 at 15.5 sacks last year, down to 10.5 sacks. This year, only 5. He's still got the all pro stuff, but it just feels like whatever's going on that defensive line, he's not set up for a ton of sacks.
Well, I will say, right. And another down thing, he is literally the only guy they have on that defensive line. They lost a bunch, and like he's going to need help. So he will see more double, triple teams. But at the same time, if he's a man carrying a defense, that could also work in your favor. When they say, look at the trash around him, unlike the theory of a better defensive lineman winning the award, like the Giants when they have a plethora of pass rushers. The Chiefs have absolutely nothing except for Chris Jones.
To Sean's point, though, I mean, the year he had 15.5 sacks.
Okay. Well, who won that year?
Bosa, 18.
Well, you can't beat a Bosa. I mean, come on. Luckily, we don't have to worry about a Bosa this year.
No, Nick Bosa.
Maybe.
No, I don't worry about Nick.
All right, 33-1. Pat Surtain, Jalen Carter.
Yeah, I mean, Jalen Carter is going to be in the mix. I just worry about him being able to get sack numbers. But I mean, he's certainly a dominant defensive force.
Got
game record.
7 points last year,
and he had an awesome year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like one of those things. I think he could have.
I think there's probably some people who won't. Maybe back to why Nolan Smith's a good.
Oh well, Ryan would always bring up his Guy is racing history.
People might not like him because he's
a two-sport athlete. If you consider motor racing a sport, but yeah, I mean, he came in 12th last year. It's just like, I don't know what he can do to jump up his numbers.
No,
and he was awesome, but it just doesn't seem like guys like Carter, who are awesome game wreckers as defensive tackles, unless they're Aaron Donald and they're also getting the sack numbers.
If you can get to double-digit sacks,
yeah,
you become interesting because you're probably leading your team in sacks at that point. What did he have last year sack wise?
4.5.
Yeah. He's going to need to get like let's see. Is there another good example? I mean, probably like Chris Jones, maybe not quite Chris Jones, but like 12.
Yeah.
Can you get double-digit sacks?
He's like a Big Daddy Wilkinson type of year.
Can you get double-digit sacks? Maybe.
Well, and it's interesting too. I mean, again, kind of going back to why I like Nolan Smith is because guys like Josh Sweat and Milton Williams, there are going to be sack opportunities for him at that position. Now you could maybe frame that for Jalen Carter, like, hey, Milton Williams isn't stealing some of your sacks. Maybe he gets those, but I think they like Jalen Carter's role. They like what he does. He eats a ton of double teams. And I don't think he's going to get the sack numbers. He's going to get double teamed. He's going to create opportunities for Nolan Smith is how I see it shaking out. So
he had 4.5 last year. That does not include the season winning sack of Matthew Stafford in the playoff game.
Does not.
No,
does not.
None of the playoff stuff.
Just wanted to make sure.
But
that was recognized.
No, he was awesome. I mean, he was awesome the entire season.
They don't win the Super Bowl if he doesn't have that sack.
No, I mean, yeah, he saved the game there at the end.
So a case against that would be in the year that Chris Jones had 15.5, Quinnen Williams had 10 and finished in 7th place in the voting. So
yeah, I just don't think it's going to happen for Jalen Carter because of the sack numbers, but he's still going to have an awesome season.
Next up, Trey Hendrickson, 22-1. You got to mark this one down for me because when they work his contract out,
yep.
If there's any, like, to me, part of I didn't bring this up earlier, but there's also a little bit of a makeup call. I think already you have, like, we were reviewing defensive player of the year earlier today. I'm like, wow, what the fuck?
Right.
Like, how the fuck did this happen? So there's a little bit of a makeup call angle here. I'm all in on the Bengals. If the offense is hitting, someone's going to be getting the sacks, and having Shamar Stewart over there means less double teams on Hendrickson. He did a lot of that through the double team. Right. So yeah, of course I got to take a piece now that I'm a Bengals guy through and through. Although it's where I have to sort this out. I got
Ryan's
the Raiders.
got like 9 teams.
I know. I'm really going on.
You got a stable of Gumad teams.
I thought I was going to be out on the Giants this year.
You got to pick one team.
And they pulled me back in.
Right, CJ? You can't have too many Gumas.
I know, right? Exactly.
Because you got Fridays for the Gumas, Saturdays for the Wild.
Yeah,
Kramer's like Wednesday, Thursday.
They catch wind of each other, then it gets into a messy situation. They're showing up at the office. We can't have that. We just can't have that.
We're trying to run a place of business.
I told you the Giants were a quarterback away, and I was probably going to be out next year. And then they got 3 quarterbacks.
You have to do it like those SEC coaches that have 2 separate families in 2 different states. You know what I mean?
Coach O and the gas station.
Yeah, exactly.
The gas station. Who are
full families.
I didn't realize that he had back-to-back 17.5.
Who we talking?
Sack seasons. Trey Hendrickson.
Oh, yeah.
He had 17.5 sacks in 2023.
Why won't they pay him?
Did not get one defensive player of the year point. Did not get on the all pro. That was in 2023. He ran it back in 2024 with 17.5 sacks. He finally got on the all pro and he got 2nd defensive player of the year.
It's pretty wild.
It's nuts.
That's crazy to have back to back at 17.5. I didn't realize it was that good.
Yeah. The career achievement award. Let's go. Nick Bosa, 16-1. Jared Verse at 15-1. I'm going to stop there because I'm going to tell you, if you listen to this show, especially if you listen to the Beeson show, I've been talking about my Jared Verse 25-1 ticket for a while. So
CLV,
just mark that frame at 8, Sean. But yeah, Jared Verse is kind of the one big defensive player of the year award bet.
Yeah,
that I'm already on. I'm not moving off the position. I would still bet it here.
At 15,
he matches everything you want. Ascension, great offense. They play it will be in a pass rushing situation a lot potentially.
Yeah,
could be one of the better teams in the conference. You know, if the defense pays off. Sean brought up Kobe Turner earlier. It's probably not Kobe Turner that's getting the award. Jared Verse was the defensive rookie of the year, so he's got the name brand.
He does. It just seems like a tad early for him as a second year, and he came on everything about him. He's a celebrity. He's in LA, and like you said, the rookie of the year, and he made a name for himself in the playoffs. Well, everything is great about him. I'm saying like 15-1 just seems so kind of short for him.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm with CJ. It's
really
well at 25.
Are we calling it 25-1 or 15?
But I don't have a time machine. I can't go back to the Sharp Kramer mobile. But
I got 25.
I know
you don't have
right. I do not have 25-1. So I see why you're so excited for it. At 15-1, I'm not as excited for it, but. He's definitely a top candidate.
Yeah, he talked a bunch of shit on the Eagles. Fuck that guy. No Jared Verse for me. He only had 4.5 sacks last year.
I was gonna say that
he should be double digits, but there's also, there's Kobe Turner on that defensive line. There's other guys that may kind of.
That's what I was saying. That whole Rams defense itself, they're very young. They came on late. There's a little bit of a defensive Jordan Love feel to me where he kind of came on late. They came on late out of nowhere. Now, can you do it for the full season? That's running it back. It's just gonna be a little bit different.
That's fair point. I do think that winning the defensive rookie of the year puts you immediately into contention, no matter what.
You're on the radar.
Fun trivia question. I'm gonna give you 4 names. All of them won defensive rookie of the year. You tell me the last one to win the award. Nick Bosa, Joey Bosa, Aaron Donald, Chase Young.
Wow.
Nick and Joey Bosa, Aaron Donald, Chase Young.
Who
won the award last? Who was the most recent guy to win defensive rookie of the year?
Oh, the most recent
defensive rookie of the year winner out of Nick, Joey Bosa,
Aaron
Donald.
Are they
Chase
all
Young.
rookie of the year winners? You're saying
Chase Young.
Chase Young in 2020.
Wow.
How is he the most washed?
Yeah. No, I was going to say.
How is he the most washed?
I was not even knowing the question.
He doesn't work. He doesn't like work.
Right. I would not even knowing the question. I would have answered Chase Young because that's like, he's the guy that named.
I needed to throw Shaq Leonard.
Yeah, you did. You need to toss someone else in there.
And good news, CJ. Yeah. You don't have a time machine. I do have the Circa Sports app.
What do they have it at?
Verse at 22-1.
Oh,
okay.
I love it.
That's close. That's close enough. Real quickly, what do they have Danielle Hunter at?
Oh, he's got you shopping now.
I want to parlay Danielle Hunter.
I'll update these odds for you.
Pete Carroll and the Buffalo offensive lineman.
Oh wow, your parlays are.
Oh my God, Ryan! Put a 1 in front of my Sauce Gardner because Sauce Gardner is 175-1 over at Circa.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
I'm updating that to a nice. I mean, look at this CLV.
All right, Sean, we can't get to the Circa fast.
Danielle Hunter is 100-1. And wait, CJ, were you DeForest Buckner here?
I'm getting a paper ticket coming.
What's Trey Hendrickson?
They're all much. The point is, they're all much better here.
What's that? Buckner, I just threw out there. I didn't want Buckner. He was a 200-1 on here.
Wow.
Well, what's he on there?
I didn't. I was trying. DeForest Buckner was 240-1.
Yeah, that's close. I didn't want Buckner. I wanted Burns and Gonzalez. I tossed out there. And what's Josh Hines Allen? We might have to bring us.
Josh Hines Allen 70-1.
I am driving, CJ. So
you might have to drive the Trapper Keeper with you and put right in the pouch itself, or I could give you the pouch.
All right. So
before we get to the top of the list, though,
it's like American flag. I don't want to touch in the ground.
Make sure you head over to underdogfantasy.com. Get in on the extender. I'm on the extender. It's worked for me and guys like me. The extender, 80% profit boost on the extender. Are you kidding me?
Oh my God!
Wow. TJ McConnell, higher 7.5 points. I'm slamming it for the NBA Finals Game 5. We gave out some. How'd your Bobrovsky shots on goal, CJ?
Game 5,
yeah,
the game that should not have existed on a Saturday night when everyone was ugly. It was Oilers sore. There was like a combined 30 shots in that game.
Yeah, it was ugly.
It was terrible. There was no reason for that game to be played on a Saturday night. Sunday was wide open. Father's Day.
Come on.
At night, no NBA, no competition. I mean, it was they played an overtime game Thursday night in South Florida. Next, they get on the airplane, they land in Edmonton, they go to Canada, 3,000 miles away, and they have like 8 hours off. Not have to go play. That was insane. Hockey is so dumb, and they love getting in their own way.
You know what? You know what's
their
also
body
insane?
clocks must have been messed up from all that time zones.
Body clocks definitely mess up, and the blood being sore. The shots didn't
Ryan's holding on to my
just touting a time zone win.
No, you were right. I was wrong. I always admit when I'm
wrong.
We're
a geography podcast. You can't screw up location or elevation.
I'm elevation specialist. That's the only thing I know. I also know that Rhythm is the place to go when you're getting AI back picks and props, building your own model. You hear all these square sharps bragging, I got a model. It's very easy to build your own model with Rhythm. Takes just a couple seconds, fire it up. You adjust the sliders, and next thing you know, it's spitting out winners left and right. Rhythm, their model likes Jalen Williams under 27.5 points and assists. I'm on board with that. He kind of is a little more deferential at home than on the road. Get in and start building your own model. 7-day free trial. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Japan in the chat saying, Sean, does the extender get her to call back? She likes it too. My wife does like the extender and 80% profit boost over an underdog. Kramer, where did we leave off? We were getting
verse.
To
top.
Verse.
Yeah, we like the verse one, which you found at 22-1. Love it at 22-1. Even
I'm a little, I don't know. I don't know why how have guys have won defensive player of the year 2? I'm with CJ. I feel like he's going to be awesome to play year 3. It might be like a hair early with the sacks.
Just like eyeballing it, it looks like Aaron Donald might have. Maybe it was actually year 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold off, but he is a beast.
Bosa also could have been year 3, so maybe we're looking at a third.
And just the
year.
fact that you're saying Hendrickson has back-to-back 17.5, like it seems like they make you work your way up to it.
Los Angeles would be another positive. For
he is on the fast track as name goes. He's already passing a Trey Hendrickson or whatever.
No, but you're right. Maybe I should be waiting one more season. I'm playing.
He's
25 is great.
Talked a bunch of
22
shit.
is intriguing.
I mean, it's good. Directionally, I'm already correct.
So I have it at 24-1, so it's just outside.
You stepped
on. I literally don't have any units left though. After for Josh Hines Allen, that's 70-1. And matter of fact, put me down for 70-1 on Josh Hines Allen. Put us both down, right?
Yeah, we're
Circa,
we're going to the moon,
right?
Getting better prices left and right.
Oh my god! And Hunter, I'm gonna be heavily invested.
Yeah. I was explaining this to my daughter. I'm like, yeah, I'm going. She's like, when are you going to Vegas next? I'm like, going before we're doing a trip to Utah after something. I'm going there first. And I'm gonna meet you guys in Utah. She's like, what you gonna do out there? I'm like, well, football season's almost here, so this is when I make all my bets.
Yeah.
She was asking me what I was making bets on. I didn't share a single defensive player of the year award, so I lied a little bit. All right, Will Anderson. 13-1, Max Crosby 12-1. All right, so let's do Will Anderson first by himself. A little interesting to me that he's being held in such high regard in like the truly favorites category. Yeah. I don't think he fits there. I think CJ highlighted a number of reasons why he's not that different than his own teammate.
Right.
Other than the draft pedigree, but big contract pedigree, actual stats in the league pedigree. I don't know how you can take Will Anderson.
He ranks 7th in edge pass win rates. Like I said, Hunter ranks 1st, then Hendrickson, then Parsons, Burns, Bosa, Myles Garrett.
It's
finally get to Will Anderson.
All the other dudes. And so I'm not in. Are you in on Will Anderson, Sean?
No, because to your guys' point, and he had, he was the defensive player of the year, his rookie season. Defensive rookie of the year. He was a all pro, and then defensive player of the year. He got a couple votes. But I think CJ's point, like he shouldn't be priced this high as a favorite.
I'm gonna have to do some research for this year 3 idea that we're coming up with. I think there might be more.
And as you said,
decent amount of year 3 guys.
But Will Anderson
draft capital.
He's
like, year 2 or sorry, no.
Will Anderson is year 3.
Yes.
I just think I haven't seen enough like complete domination out of him to wreck a game. Now the pros are the division he's in. All the stuff they were saying about the Jags pass rush could apply for guys on the Texans.
Right.
You get a rookie quarterback, you get Daniel Jones, and you get Ty Law, aka Trevor Lawrence.
Hot take. I need to find a note that tells me to go away from Liam Cohen, but I'm more confident in the offense of the Jags than the Texans.
Oh, all right.
Now we're talking.
We get an oven mitt. No, Liam Cohen's great at scheming things up.
You're higher on CJ Stroud with a brand new offensive coordinator, a whole new offensive line, BFF Tank Dell not around. There's a lot of question marks.
I guess I've just seen a lot of Trevor Lawrence, and it's a solid meh for me. Now maybe all he was missing was Liam Cohen.
They made one move. They got Christian Kirk, an ex-Jag receiver. He might be able to help Stroud out. But
if you're giving your division rival a receiver, I mean, just look at what the Redskins giving the Eagles Jahan Dotson, just trash.
No, absolutely. I'm saying,
Jahan Dotson.
Your take was not hot. For sure.
For a first round pick, he's trash.
Oh, okay. I'm saying for like a third receiver.
That's why they threw him out to a division rival.
For a third receiver on that offense, I think he is.
If he's a third receiver.
Joe Mixon, Nico Collins.
You can't even take an insult to Jahan Dotson without thinking it's an Eagles insult. It was purely it was a Jahan Dotson insult.
I don't know if he's going to beat out Terrence.
What team is Jahan Dotson on?
He's on the Eagles.
Okay.
And will he make the team?
I'm saying I don't even know if he's going to beat out Terrence Marshall for the third receiver.
Oh wow.
I think they like Dotson.
All right. Hopefully
he had a couple of big catches in the playoffs.
We should have cashed our first touchdown.
Yeah.
We might have a break. We'll have to do a breaking news episode when he gets cut. Max. All right. So here are the favorites, or what I would consider the favorites. Max Crosby 12.
So much hate.
What do you mean?
Bulletin board material. Jahan Dotson.
It's not a hot take to say. I think the Redskins thought Jahan Dotson was trash. That's why he traded. That's why they traded him to a division rival.
We'll give him a full year though.
Max Crosby 12-1. TJ Watt 10-1. Myles Garrett and Aiden Hutchinson 7-1. Michael Parsons plus 650.
Now, of those guys,
what has prevented Micah Parsons from winning the award so far?
Well,
are you making a case for him?
No. I'm asking a legitimate question because he won the Rookie of the Year.
Yeah,
he's obviously extremely talented.
Yeah,
he plays for a very marquee franchise in the Dallas Cowboys. Star on the helmet. What has prevented him from winning the award?
I mean, he's been in the top 3 in voting.
Dak Prescott.
Many of the years to how I said I was an answer to the question. I'm sorry.
You saw
that's my bad.
It was a rhetorical question.
You saw what the hot take shows we're talking about today.
Dak's legacy.
They're talking about Dak's
Stanley Cup final, NBA finals. No, let's make fun of Dak.
Yeah.
Where does he rank? 2 and 5 in the playoffs.
It's like, all right. So first thing against him, he's never really had that counting stats year where he racked up more than. I mean, this actually is surprising to me. He's never had more than 14 sacks,
which is pretty good. But to your point, when guys like Trey Hendrickson will get more.
Well, and just in my mind, I have no resistance to the idea that he's a dominant defensive player, one of the best edge rushers in the league. So I was surprised to find that he did not have the counting stats, even though he's only missed a handful of games in his career. So
I don't think they rush him enough because they drop, because I know they did different coaches and they would drop him in coverage. They, he's a linebacker as well. But to your point, like they should LT him. They compare him to LT. They should just let him.
So to your point, won the Rookie of the Year, then second place, then third place, then 17th place in the Defensive Player of the Year award. Obviously missed time last year. We're not taking him. It's interesting to see him as a chalk.
There's something going on with his contract. He wants a new deal.
Well, it's going to be more expensive once Trey Hendrickson.
And he's definitely becoming more annoying too. People to the media, I'm saying. Yeah. I'm not saying to me, I don't care, but you know what I mean? Like
he's Draymond Green,
and he's very mouthy, and his opinions are always bad.
He kind of was like not being stoked on the moves the Cowboys were.
No, he's critical of the team on his podcast, which is very annoying.
For sure.
The coach already,
which I think's hilarious, and I see all the podcast clips because all the Eagles accounts retweet it and go like, "You hear what Micah Parsons is shitting on the Cowboys?" I'm like, oh, I like this.
So
he's one of my favorite Cowboys. He's very critical.
If you want dirt on the Cowboys, just head over to their subreddit.
Oh yeah.
And there were some fans, like I don't think there was any real journalism here, but they seem to be thinking that the move of Micah Parsons' locker to next to Dak Prescott was like reprimanding him for him talking in the public, and that's why the response was so goofy when Schottenheimer was like, "Yeah, I'm just trying some new things."
Oh boy,
that's just trying some new things. Which I was like, "Yeah, that's interesting." Interesting take. I mean, it's the Cowboys fan take, not my take. But no, we're crossing him off the list. Any of the other chalk guys? Again, Hutchinson, Garrett 7-1, TJ Watt 10-1, Crosby 12-1.
Yeah, if I was going to make an argument for one of the chalk here, I would say Max Crosby.
Really?
Yeah. Only because these
like
are the names you hear every year: TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, Aiden Hutchinson, and Crosby's the one who hasn't won it yet. And they might have. I really think you're right about the fatigue. They don't want to give it to Myles Garrett again, and they don't want to give it to TJ Watt. Certainly, I think they're the Watts. But
the problem with Garrett and Watt is that Garrett and Watt are the two guys on this list, I think, that are capable of taking the vote out of the voters' hands and actually, because their teams are potentially so bad on off. Not so much the Steelers anymore, but the Browns are so bad on offense potentially that there will be so much credit. I mean, Flacco's fun, but there will be so much credit placed on Myles Garrett. If this team makes the playoffs, in a way, he would almost be rewarded, assuming he does what he normally does.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's Hutch. I think it's Hutch's year. I'm easy in the chat is obviously all over Hutchinson being a Lions fan. To me, it was
really. Yeah,
I think the media is going to want to give him this award because he was on he only played 5 games. He already had 7.5 sacks last year. Last year was his year 3, as we've been discussing. Like year 3 is kind of your year to emerge on the defensive player of the year scene. You saw what the defense became after he was gone. If he is on the field 17 games and the defense gets a lot better than that, like how bad it was towards the end. And maybe the offense, they lost Ben Johnson. The offense isn't as good, but they're still winning some games with Aiden Hutchinson. He gets the counting stats. I think he'll get, if he gets like 14 type sacks, it's a great story. I think they're going to want to give it to him. So he's one of the rare chalk players.
Can't do it. I shook his hands. He has very, very normal size hands.
And that Detroit Lions story seems like it's old news already, to be honest with you.
Does it not?
I'd rather have
I hope it is.
A Pete Carroll Raiders team, Max Crosby. He's in the recovery program. People love getting behind that with the story, with that narrative, how his life got turned around and the tattoos, and he stayed. And we got a coach fired and rehired. I don't know if I was going to play any of those guys.
Kramer, you doing anything chalky?
Well, I mean, normally I would say like, wow, we're getting a discount on TJ Watt when he finally has a quarterback, just because he's holding out a little bit. And that's the reality. Is when's the last time he's played with a quarterback and could like have? How often is he predictably rushing the passer in like they're up by 10 points kind of situation? Yeah, like he does his damage with the game on the line when they're losing. I wonder how crazy his season could be if things line up.
No, and I don't want to fade TJ Watt, but
I'm not going to.
I feel like he was, even though he played all 17 games, I feel like he was getting nicked up a bunch and kind of managing a bunch of stuff. He's getting a little long in the tooth. He already won it. Myles Garrett already won it. So
I like CJ's angle too, because if Pete Carroll's team takes off early, it's going to be on the bat. It's going to be Geno in the running game. And it's going to be that somehow he's coached up some defensive backs, and they're holding up enough for Max Crosby to get home.
And he's got a rivalry with Mahomes. That's always good for the I do advertising, kind of like Sapp and Favre kind of a situation. It elevated both of them.
He was behind the Mahomes puppet.
I'll join.
Yes.
I'll join another one because I am a little bit of a Raiders fan too. Remember, we're out in Vegas.
Well, that Gamar's okay. That's when you call up in town and that's it. Right. Yeah.
Kramer's got like 3 NFC side pieces.
Here's what I want you to do. Next time you're at the Circa, maybe you're using SGP 15. Just while you're enjoying some gambling, just tilt your head back and go Raiders, and just hear it echo through the building. It's a delightful exercise, and the Raiders have been a good NFL slot team for me. Sean, I don't know if we mentioned this.
How's the slot?
Did we mention on the podcast that I did receive a hand pay last trip to Vegas? I don't think we did. Well, in case you were wondering on my slot play, there does seem to be another software update. Still no new highlights, but the game is back to feeling a little bit like the old game. Anyway, Giants.
We did do a slot update. There's a clip.
Okay,
it's actually pinned on our
Giants. Giants got me with a couple double clutch kick, a little $1,500 hand pay banger, and I might not have shared this part. The guy didn't. He refused to hand pay me.
Yes,
he paid the slot.
Wouldn't put it in your hand. You put it out there. Wouldn't put it in there.
That's. I mean,
CJ,
it's a hand pay.
It's not very often you get a slot hand pay and a time zone tout in one episode. But Kramer brought a game.
I have too many picks.
Even though we're in the off season. So Kramer, rattle off your cheat sheet here of all your defensive player of the year plays.
All right. I'm joining. Me and CJ, we have to come up with a good business name for this, but me and CJ agree on Crosby at 12-1.
Yes.
I have the verse at 25-1. I love it at 22-1 still. I'm taking Hendrickson because I need to have the Bengals covered from all angles. Dexter Lawrence, just in case.
Okay.
Hines Allen, also going in the bucket. I can't wait to see
70-1.
The Dexter Lawrence price is at Circa. And then the pizza bet, the extra just in case, cover the Cardinals. My other team. So how many teams do I have here? Let's see. Raiders, Bengals, Giants, Cardinals. Okay, so 4, and then I guess you could potentially. The Jags are really moving into an uncomfortable position.
Ooh, there's room.
I mean, Sean, how bad are the Colts going to be?
There's room in the pool.
They're talking
in the Jacksonville pool.
These people who cover the league are like, well,
in-stadium hot tub has room.
At least the Colts have Daniel Jones. That's the statement.
Right.
What? Riley Leonard, Sean, your take on Riley Leonard to do some Riley Leonard to lead the division in rushing yards or something wild.
Well, I think we talked about it. Lead the team in passing yards was like 30-1 or something.
Are those
crazy.
markets still up?
Because, well, I mean, Anthony Richardson has a shoulder injury and Daniel Jones had a neck injury. That was a big ongoing
The Giants
thing.
said, "Go home. We don't want you to accidentally trip and fall and have to pay you a bunch of money because your neck is put together with balsa
I don't think
wood."
Daniel Jones is healthy.
No. CJ, walk through. What do you got for defensive player of the year?
And the only chalky was the Crosby there, 12-1. The Josh Hines Allen 70-1, of course. I mean,
that's an amazing price
for a man who announced that is his goal is to win this award. That's what he wants to do. What's your weight? I'm not even answering that. I answer it with it like it's his answer to every question. My favorite play, Danielle Hunter, still available at 100-1 at Circa. If you boys want to join in on that one, I mean, when you're going out there,
might have to.
The #1 rated defensive edge and pass rush efficiency and all that. I mean, all the events says he's the best. $37 million contract for 1 year.
Yeah.
Down the line.
But is it Danielle or Danielle?
I know that's the only problem.
He's got to get over that to win the award.
Yeah, for sure.
Because if the guy doesn't, if the voter doesn't know if this is Danielle or Danielle, probably gonna skip past them.
And then a couple just in cases down the road, also at 100-1. Christian Gonzalez, your D-back for the Vrabels, and Brian Burns, the best player on that Giants defensive line and best rated defensive end. Spider-Man getting the kid votes.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
For me, the chalky play, Aiden Hutchinson, 7-1. My just in case, Nolan Smith Jr. at 100-1, and really long shot. Don't get lost in the sauce. 175-1. A nice clean 3 guys, easy money. Let's go.
I don't even know why I do all this data work. Sean just spits in its face, taking a defensive back.
Defensive back won last year.
Imagine I went to school for 6 years, came out with my PhD, my life's work was this research.
Ryan, Huck Tua, spit on that thing. You know what I mean? Happy 1 year anniversary to Huck Tua. We didn't celebrate it on the show.
She's gone already.
No, well, 1 year ago she became famous.
And do you think that spitting on a dick will become popular again in the future?
I don't know. I'm not in those streets, but hey, whatever you do.
People barely remember her for that. It seems like it's been 8 years. I mean, she's already had a career where she's had a Bitcoin scandal. She went up. She went missing. For
the number 1 podcast in the world.
Yeah. Right.
And imagine this: we're like 6 months away from someone becoming famous for doing a Hawk Tua. That's going to be big.
Right. Just so you know, 33% of the past 6 winners have been from the quarterback position.
33% of the past 6 winners.
Yes.
Got it.
So 2 out of 6.
2 out of 6 have been defensive backs.
Yeah. So not as crazy when you frame the data that way.
Maybe it's starting a run. Maybe it's starting a run. Hey, Woodson and Palomalu went back to back.
They usually say
if a quarterback won this year, it'd be 50%.
Bob Sanders, 3 out of 4 years with D-backs.
They usually say if the data doesn't look right, zoom in closer.
Okay.
That's not what they
Good
say.
data point. Shout out to Mint Eastwood. Shout out to everyone in the chat. YouTube.com/sportsgambling podcast. Smash that subscribe button so you know, turn the notifications on so you know when we're live. Hop in the chat, get in the mix, hop in our Discord. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Bottom Line Bomb, CJ Sullivan, wherever you get your podcasts. And of course,
thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green. He's Ryan.
See you on Wednesday with Offensive Player of the Year.
Kramer, let it ride.
I'm wet.
Having a hard